And also, just want to obviously point out, this is going to be the same presentation from Tuesday. So Kim and Manuel, you guys were on Tuesday, I believe. So you're not obligated to stay on this one. Thank you for doing it. If you want to stay again, it's not going to be, it'll be a rehash of what you had. So I just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought it might have been a little more in depth, but thanks for the heads up. I'll hop off and get going on Yardi.
Sounds good. The in-depth stuff is coming.
Yeah,
For
I'll
the
be following.
one-on-ones will be the follow-up to these.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
And now I'll be quiet.
No, feel free. Feel free. Hop in with me. It's okay. I am letting in somebody from Vineyard Heights right now. Let me let them join before I get started. Oh, a few more people joining. Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your time to jump on today's call. So today is mostly going to be an introduction to what is Emma, how do we use it, and I'm going to go over some examples of how you can see this be incorporated into your community. Again, this is more so an intro. My goal is to show this to all of you, answer some questions, and then after the call, I will be following up with each community one-on-one, so then we can determine who's responsible for newsletters, who's responsible for move-in specials, and we can kind of figure that out together and create a system in place so that your team feels confident and comfortable to do these. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. Give me 1 second. Can everybody see my screen here? Give me a nod, thumbs up. Okay, thank you. All right, so again, what I just mentioned is we're going to be doing our overview. I'm going to show you some templates that we already have available. And then I'm going to discuss follow-up tasks, which again, I will let you know in an email so we can kind of have all of these details organized for next steps. Some of you are already familiar with Emma and using it too. So I'm hoping that with this, it might give you ideas of new ways to use it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so what is Emma? I'm sure you've heard your regional directors say this or Kevin say this, and it is the abbreviation for our email marketing platform. So Emma, we usually have our administrators, community relations directors, and life enrichment team members on here. We kind of work as a team determining like who's best at doing what, but it's ultimately to help families stay connected with the latest things going on in your building. So some examples of what you might see are newsletters, you can do holiday emails, you can do move-in campaigns. That's a really great way if you have any move-in specials. We can conveniently take out the prospect emails from Yardi. We can send it to them specifically so you stay top of mind to them. And then you can also do special announcements to your team internally. So if you have something where, let's say there's like a road blockage or something happened, you can send out a quick memo to your team internally to let them know what's going on. Right here, the photo that I have is what you see initially when you log into the platform. So I do have a list of who has access, who needs a password reset. So I'll be following up with you too. Or you can also shoot me an email if you want to get logged in quicker, and then we can get you on. Okay. So the main thing that I like to emphasize with Emma is it does take time to create like some really nice things that you're sending out. But if you don't have the right mailing group updated at least once a month minimum, then it's not landing in the right hands. For that reason, I do encourage you to have 3 to 4 mailing groups that will work together to gather and organize. The first is going to be a resident and family email group. So I do have a sign up form that I'm going to show you in the next slide, but this is a really great way if you have any trunk or treat events coming up or trick or treat Halloween events, you can send that out with the beautiful flyers that your graphic designers create and let them know and gather RSVPs that way. Another one is team member emails. So like I mentioned, if you have a announcement that you want to share out or you want to celebrate a team member of the month, that's a really great way to kind of celebrate your team. The third one is Yardi prospect emails. So I do have some instructions, but I like to do that with the team on the call. That's going to be for anybody who does have access to Yardi. So it won't necessarily be your life enrichment director pulling that out for you. And the last email group that we'll have is one that I upload on your behalf. That's going to be one that has a collection of administrators, community relations directors, life enrichment directors, and our regional directors. So if you see in your inbox that you're sometimes getting updates from a different neighboring community or one far away, it's most likely that you are already on their group, just so that you can all keep each other up to date with what's happening and you can get updates and ideas, inspiration from it too. Alrighty, let's go to the next one. So this is a sign up form that I was mentioning. A big question sometimes is how do we get family member emails? We do have a way to pull that from, I believe it's Yardi and Paychex, but another really convenient way I can email this to all of you is to just print this and have it at your front desk. So then if anybody is asking like, hey, don't you have any like emails or newsletters, you can encourage them to sign up and then we can manually add them to that family group so that they can get the latest updates that you share too. Okay, so I have a few examples here to show you all what kind of emails can be sent out from your community based on the templates that we have. And you'll notice they're all a little bit similar, but they have a few different purposes behind them. So the first one is if you have a move-in special. So here on the left, we can see Meadow Ridge. It starts off with the top community logo that we customize, and you just input the flyer from your graphic designer. We customize some of the verbiage here, and then we have the usual buttons on the bottom, which are going to be call now, email us, website, and just kind of anything somebody would need to get a hold of you. What's really great about this is that once you have the first one down how you want it, you don't have to redo it each time. You can just copy the template that you already fixed up and just make minor changes so that it applies to your next flyer. So for example, the one on the right is going to be for an event that they had around February. So very similar, they just had some details regarding that event, customized the verbiage, and then their own community buttons here. The third example that I have here is what we call the monthly gazette. This is one that I add each month to SharePoint, and it's as simple as just having 2 photos with fun facts from the month. So sometimes if teams are like, I have no idea what to send out, this is just a really fun, easy way that family members can see a fun fact of the month, and you're getting something out there on behalf of your community. The fourth example here is the template that's not necessarily customized yet, but this is what I'll work with your team so that we can make it the colors of your community, and your team can update this each month to make sure that you're sending out like birthdays, events, things people should know. Families really love to see this one. Okay, so with all of these resources, I want to do my one-on-one calls so that way we can kind of build it together. I do have a folder in SharePoint that I just want to make sure you all can find. It's underneath the marketing section, and it's titled Emma Resources. When you click into this, I have different folders for campaign ideas, examples, tutorials, videos. And if you are looking for something specific, I could either point you in that direction, or I can show you, or we can jump on a call and go over it. Okay, so I had a note here for myself where I say, pause, let's log into Emma. So let me go ahead and do that and show you all what it looks like in case you haven't. Okay. Can everybody see my screen here? Okay, so I just logged into this account. I have Callahan Court that popped up. So for everybody that logs in, we're all going to see the same thing because we're under the same community. So for example, here we can see the last ones that have been sent out on behalf of Callahan Court. This is what the platform looks like. It has a few options at the top, which is like audience, campaigns. You can create a new campaign. Part of the action items of what we're going to work on together is making sure that we have those mailing groups first, or if we need to update it, we'll work on updating that. But to show you what that looks like, I'm going to click on audience at the top. And this is showing me the list of everybody in the contacts. If I'm to click over here where it reads groups, it's giving me the 4 groups that they already have. So this is helpful. So then if you have a family member who wants to be added, you can just click on your family group, and then you can manually add 1 contact. So it's pretty easy to do. I just want to make sure that we have that up to date for everybody. And then we can also conveniently do a bulk import. So if you have an Excel sheet with all of the emails of team members that you want to add, we'll be able to upload this together without having to manually do it one by one. So just wanted to make sure I show you all what that looks like. I'm going to click next here for campaigns. So campaigns is just showing me all the drafts that they currently have in place. For your community, you would see the same thing, or you can see which ones have been sent. When I mentioned that you'll be able to duplicate one that you send out, all you would have to do, for instance, if there is a template that you like, you click on the drop down, click duplicate, and then you can go in and change your event flyer, change the verbiage. It's going to save you a lot of time to do that too. Another great thing that we can do is also schedule EMAs to be sent out. So if you have an event coming out on the 31st for October, we could send something out at the beginning of the month and schedule the same thing to be sent out halfway into the month. And just kind of remind people that that's going to be happening to stay top of mind. You can do that with anything, with a move-in special, or you can do that with an event flyer. So just wanted to make you all see what that could look like. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the homepage. So in the templates that I showed you, I want to show you all where to look at those. And we're going to go more into detail on our one-on-one calls. But here, for example, I'm just going to select test to go to the next step. And it's going to show me all the recent ones that this community has shared. On the left-hand side, if I click all of the templates, it's going to show me all the possibilities that your team can use. You're more than welcome to use these. You're more than welcome to customize them, make them your own for your community. I would just say aim to add your logo and branding to be pretty consistent. But to make life easier, I have those templates already available. And that's going to be here underneath my gallery shared templates. So this is going to show us every newsletter of the month. I have that in case somebody is starting for the first time. You can find the month that we're currently in, and we can begin to build that together. You don't have to build one every single time for the new month because that's going to be too many steps. In that case, I would work with you to duplicate it and just update the holiday, and then you can update the content. So it's going to save you some time there. But here, for instance, I'm going to click where it says Move-In Special. This is the one that you would use if you have an October event coming up. So this is how the platform looks like. If you click over this image, you'll see on the right that you have the option to change image. So here's where you can, I'm going to search logo because I believe each community already has it preloaded. Let's do this one, and we update it. So if it's from Timberwood or Neowana, you'll all be able to find your logo and update it. If not, let me know and I'll make sure that you have it in there. This one, for instance, I'm going to click on this image and click change image. And you know what? I just got a Halloween graphic. I'll use this one as an example. But here, when you get your graphics from your graphic designer, that's why we label it Emma's-Web. That's going to be the one that we use to distribute in marketing emails or the Google listing or the website. So it's the same thing for all of them. I'm going to click open. And then once it pops up, I'm going to select. So simple as that. There's just a few steps that we do, then we can customize the verbiage. But again, I want to work with your team so that we can set it up, you kind of get the hang of it, and then we can make sure that it's landing in the right people's inbox. But this is what one of the templates can look like. And then we can also add a link to each of the websites. So when people click on something, they'll be able to visit the website to learn more as well. Alrighty, so I'm going to pause there. Are there any questions so far before I continue? Nope. Yes. Oh no, I can't hear you. No, I think your computer might not have a mic, but let me know in the chat and I'll read it and then I can try to answer the question that way. Thank you.
Samantha, are we still going to reach out to Tina and everybody to do flyers, or is that replacing?
No, it's the same exact process. You're still requesting your flyers that way.
Okay.
So let's say you request a graphic and you get it. Once you get it, the next step would be to distribute. So your team can share that on social media. You can share that with me and I'll get it up on your website and your Google listing. But then once you have it, your team is free to prepare an Emma and email that whenever you see fit. So my hope is that you are set up, you have everything, so then you don't have to wait on us. You can kind of just like build it and send it. Okay, I see. Will we have any paper copies of the newsletters for residents, or are these only digital? These ones are only digital, but if you like to have the paper ones, we do have templates that I can send to you. You can customize it on Microsoft Word, and you can use it that way too, specifically for the residents. So if you want something like that, Ariel, please shoot me an email and I can show you the ones that we have for you to play around with. Okay, thank you. So let me go back to my, let's see, let me go back to my slide. Okay, so this is where I wanted to talk about the action items. I do have a list of communities that are posting and not posting. That's not a problem. We can always work on that next. So I'm going to follow up with each of you so that we can then determine who on your team do you need to have access to this platform. And then we're going to work together to gather those mailing groups, which is going to be one for residents and families and another one for team members. And then from that, we're going to schedule a next follow-up call, or we'll start to build one together. So what I've been doing from the last call, I've been customizing the October newsletter with the community colors, and then we can assign a team member to start to play around with it. Or if you have an event flyer, we'll use that too. If you don't have any flyers, that's not a problem. I have some that we can also use as a filler. It'll just have like educational information that we can send out. But that is what we're going to do next, and I will send out follow-up information. So are there any additional questions from any of the overview information that I went over today? No, that's always good. I'm ready for our one-on-ones where all the questions will come and to see you all be pros with Emma's. But again, if you haven't, let me know in the chat if who your community is, if anyone else is with you, please go ahead and do. I would greatly appreciate that.
When can we expect the one-on-ones?
I am going to start scheduling them next week, as soon as next week. So if your team can try to gather those mailing groups ahead of time, that would be great. Let me show you all what I'm going to also include in the email attachment. I have an Excel sheet. It's very simple. I have this Excel sheet. I'm going to send one for resident and family member emails and one for team members. So it's just asking for the first name, last name, and their email. And then on our call together, we'll do that upload. So that way we'll know it's up to date. We have everything there. And then we'll start to build one out. And then we'll just kind of stay in touch, have a follow-up call afterwards until your team is like, you know what? We got this. We don't need the calls anymore. I just want to make sure we're in touch so that you have what you need. When I first started learning Emma, the best is just to kind of go in there and get familiarized with it, play around with it. But I want to be available if you have any questions too. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate your time. Again, I'm here if you have any questions. If you want to schedule sooner than later, please shoot me an email after, and you'll be like one of the first ones that we get booked in the calendar for next week. All right. Thanks all. Hope you have a great rest of your week.